Welcome back, and we are going ahead with our discussion on marketing of innovation in service industry. And as I said that up till now we are trying to imagine that how to look into marketing of innovation with reference to service industry, or how to market innovative services. So both the both of these things are part of the two parts of the same coin and so on. So and then now let's see that how to look at the organizational perspective, or what can be done as far as the whole scenario goes. I will be using some examples also. I will be talking about some elements which we should be thinking sincerely about as far as the whole scenario goes. Remember that the team associated with providing the services, taking the services at the doorsteps, and people who are associated with as far as the whole provision goes are a very important part of whatever we are imagining in due course of time as far as this scenario goes. And here we would be using some good researches which have been conducted, and one or two specific papers to highlight the elements how we should be looking at it. And I would be emphasizing strongly upon as far as the sales element goes. So because that is what is required in due course of time as far as the situation goes. You see, services are intangible. So when we are talking of developing services, individuals are involved, but the most important part is how we actually take the services there and how the customers feel about as far as innovativeness in that particular service goes. So that is a very interesting element which we should be looking at. So selling an innovative service with strong marketing is remarkable, but did you know that companies are now selling their products as services? That is again a very important element which, and I mentioned that earlier as well. So you see, the point is that pure services, products as services, this is also an important and interesting thing which we should be building upon as far as the whole scenario goes. And here we are reaching to another element and aspect of innovation, that you see, people are innovating upon the models, how we should be looking at products altogether as far as the whole scenario goes. And you would find it interesting, and because it is happening around us and we are observing that, but again the point is that the organizations which are doing that, they imagined that earlier. They were continuously working upon that, and the case which I am mentioning about here is almost a decade old case. And definitely we are proud Indians that many Indian heads of organization, Indian origin heads of organizations, they have done these wonders, and I would be talking about one of those eminent personalities who actually did that. So is it possible? Yes, it is possible. And let's look at one or two more elements, and then let me quote from the author himself, because we are using this referring to this paper written by Chung in 2021 May, how to shift from selling products to selling services, Harvard Business Review. And it's a very interesting thing, and the quote is that yes, it takes different skills and a different focus. Innovation always requires different skills, different focus, and that is what we are learning about. And hopefully up till now we are reaching to the end. You have started thinking that way. The purpose of this course was looking at marketing with the perspective of innovation, and looking at innovations with the perspective of how innovative we can be in marketing of innovations. So you see, and then let's start the story, and this would slightly demonstrate what I am talking about. And as I said, I would be talking about a magician, a great personality who has definitely made all of us proud, Mr. Satya Nadella. So when he assumed the role of Microsoft's CEO in 2014, the company was operating with a well-established sales model that had contributed to its status as one of the world's most valuable firms. It has always been, it has contributed a lot. So the amount of money Microsoft charged organizations for its products, now here look at, and you see at this juncture you might think of collating this discussion with our pricing discussion earlier, which we did in terms of innovations in marketing. So pricing models and those kind of things, and we talked about that, but here we are talking about this with a different kind of a perspective. Just try and imagine this. So the amount of money Microsoft charged organizations for its products was based primarily on headcounts. number of licenses, and we have been used to this. The pack comes to us, the CD pack comes to us, or the pack comes to us, and they say that these are the number of users associated with this kind of a thing, and it's very interesting. So each computer was required a seat license, and Microsoft sales representatives crafted contracts typically spanning 3 years, which multiplied the seat count by annual software cost. It was a simple model, logical also, and that is how the product was being sold. It was a product at that time, and let us see how this product gets traversed into being a service. So once a contract was finalized, the salesperson received a commission and moved on to the next customer. This approach, reminiscent of many B2B tech companies, earned the nickname "thank you and see you in 3 years." That is how authors describe it, and it's very interesting. Thank you and see you in 3 years. That's a good line. So because salespeople had little incentive to revisit clients until contract renewal time. Now you are using it, you require some help, tell us, we have demonstrated that, and then be comfortable, and definitely we have this unique product. So, and many a times this would have brought in some context of complacency in as far as the whole situation goes, probably. So, but Mr. Nadella aimed to revolutionize Microsoft's fundamental business strategy and its methods for pricing and selling products. Here comes a thinker who is actually looking into innovation basically. So instead of selling licenses and relying upon conventional Windows first strategy, he envisioned a cloud first model that would convert numerous Microsoft products into software as a service. They popularly call it SaaS now, a concept now, as I said, called SaaS. In this model, fees are determined or is determined by consumption, similar to how utility companies bill households for water or electricity, pay as per usage. The more a customer uses, the higher their bill. But here comes the catch, that if you are going for this kind of a thing and you are converting it into SaaS. So Mr. Nadella recognized that this transformation necessitated not only a change in strategy but also a complete shift in the sales department's mindset. How? Because now they would be guiding you how to use it more. And that is the biggest change basically. Now you are not just the sales team, you are just you are graduating to become a guiding team. You are actually living with the customer. And one more very important thing which comes here is that earlier you were selling a pack and they would be using. Now you are guiding them to use, that is one part. And earlier you were selling to larger clients. Here you are selling to I would not say individuals, but yes, many a times individuals, but specific micro segments. Many people for a particular usage, many others for a particular usage, the same thing with a different kind of perspective, and here comes your guidance as far as the whole scenario goes. We will see that emerges in the story itself. So, how to sell, what, to whom? The shift from selling products to selling services requires leaders to rethink not just the what services instead of products, but also the who, the types of customers the sales force pursues, and the how, the way salespeople engage with customers before and after the sales, and that is the most important part. And here is the upgradation of sales. You see, while reading these kind of things, I always imagine that there was a time when sales was the most prominent function in whole of the marketing scenario or in business as far as the business goes. Then came in the prominence of marketing as a whole, and sales became a part of whole of the marketing thing basically, and then sales started supporting the marketing perspective. But here again sales is becoming very prominent in due course of time. And the other day I was reviewing a paper for an organization of marketing, and I realized that a very interesting sales model was demonstrated in that paper. I would not be able to reveal that paper has yet to be presented, so it is not ethical to talk about that paper as of now. So, but definitely someday. So you see, so engage with customers before and after the sale, the new skills necessary for the job, and how they are trained and compensated also. So human resource management, the training associated with the sales team, and how are they looking at their job comes back. It was a very prominent thing earlier, but it comes back now. So steps companies for companies to successfully shift from selling product to selling service are, and I would be elaborating on these steps in due course of time. Rethink customer segmentation. And we are talking of, again we are reaching back to micro segments and targets. Remember, we started our story from this kind of a discussion. Restructure the sales organization. And you see, you realize when I talked about the concentricity of anything towards the whole business scenario. So here sales organization has to be restructured and reorganized, and a newer perspective has to be dealt with. That means that you are going back to the school and you are telling these schools that these are the kinds of people we would be requiring in for future sales function. I remember that for past 2 decades more or less, there is largely no sales based kind of distinctive specialization in B schools. There is a marketing specialization, there is finance specialization, though no specific sales based kind of a specialization which would train specifically the business graduates into as far as the sales function go. Are we going towards revisiting that as well? And if we are, then that innovation is required by B schools now, and probably that is going to be the newer function which B schools should be focusing upon once again. So use Salesforce management instruments to drive the right behavior. Drive the right behavior. Behavioral science comes back, and we remember eminent thinkers like Daniel Kahneman here once again. So rethink customer segmentation. Let's elaborate these one by one. Among large B2B companies, the most prevalent approach for structuring a sales force is based on customer size and potential, as the author says. Typically, enterprise accounts characterized by their substantial headcount and a large number of seat licenses, we are going back to the same story of Microsoft, receive the highest priority and are managed by most skilled sales professionals. Materialization, identification and materialization of account is the formatted sales discussion, and many a times, if I am not wrong, not many modern sales books have been augmented and written in sales management with these kind of things. Basically, they have included the contemporary elements, but not specifically with reference to how we should be actually thinking about these kind of things, and that text also requires innovation. So in contrast, small and medium sized enterprises are often considered less attractive prospects, leading to fewer allocated resources. For instance, a single salesperson might be responsible for multiple SMEs, and we are talking of reorganizing sales structure. So, or these accounts could be assigned to inside salespeople who conduct their work through phone and online interactions instead of in-person visits, and so on. You see, we have done this in case of housing also now. You purchase houses, and then the builder gets associated with you, that you stay as long as you want because you are not permanently staying here, and this can be rented on as far as on your behalf goes. That also is somehow, I am not saying directly related to this kind of a discussion, but that is an innovation, and probably there are several other kinds of homestays are coming up and so on. Several kinds of innovations are being done in terms of whole of the service scenario goes. And when we were selling properties, or when we were selling stay options, our sales teams were not related to this thought process of selling to such kind of customers or selling these kind of properties to many customers, but we have augmented those processes as well. So the shift to consumption model can append that logic, as the example says. So Netflix has 8,600 employees. It's smaller than many large enterprises. Now in traditional B2B sales, its size might seem less attractive. However, when selling cloud services based on data usage, Netflix stands out. You see, this is an important data which is mentioned in the next line, that you see, streaming countless movies to millions of customers demands extensive data capabilities, as Netflix represented 12.6% of all internet traffic in the first half of 2019. In the realm of cloud service consumption, Netflix, despite its small headcount, is a major player. 12.6%, it's huge, and that justifies the perspective around entertainment industry as well. Today, entertainment industry has reached to a different kind of a platform in terms of taking entertainment services to the customers. Had they been charged based on the head count, cloud service providing companies would have assumed much less business as far as the whole scenario goes. But now we are moving towards a different kind of pay as per the usage. Insurance companies have also traversed from pay as you keep up your good health, lesser the premium. If health is good, if you are driving safely, it's a lesser premium. If you are driving nicely, the lesser charge for the tire. And we have talked about these examples earlier. And I told you once that sometimes different industries learn from different industries. Probably many industries would have learned from Microsoft, and probably Microsoft would have imagined having clues from different kinds of sides they would have been observing, because Microsoft has been providing software support to several kinds of organizations. So models, they traverse from this side to that side with lots of augmentation and innovation. And model innovation and business model innovation precisely is one of the most important innovation perspective which is being developed in contemporary world. Restructure the sales organization. Rethinking customer segmentation centers around the question, who comprises the company's target customer base? Once these customers are identified, the sales organization needs to shift its focus towards how to effectively sell to them. So, we are rethinking about the target perspective, we are rethinking about how to sell to them. The conventional sales process often involves lead generation, prospect qualification. We have been talking about this, and all the text describes this, which is right also, product demonstrations and closing deals. So, this is what largely we have been teaching, and we have been dwelling upon. Many sales professionals have dedicated years to mastering and implementing this routine. Today's sales classes, they start their discussion from this first unit module. However, a consumption based model demands a different approach. Closing the deal becomes an intermediate step because the contract's substantial revenue hinges on the client's subsequent high volume service usage. It is not necessary that this would be successful all through. Xerox came with this model of pay as per usage when they were actually leasing their machines on a buyback arrangement to their vendors, and it worked well for a very large part of time. Photocopying was a very big business. It still is confined to few people, but still is a big business, but not that big when it got initiated in somewhere between 1991 to 2004 or 5. Everywhere you had large photocopy shops, and they had different kinds of models, and the manufacturers, they had specific arrangements with photocopying setups. So, now the industry now emphasizes customer success, and this is the term which authors they talk about as far as the specific input goes, and it's a very important thing which one should remember. So, customer success as a euphemistic term that is reshaping how companies approach their sales strategies. The story starts after you close the deal, and that is an important thing. So, ultimately in a consumption based business, customer success is all that matters because it builds on itself over time. That is why we are saying customer success. So, and Amy Hood, Chief Financial Officer of IBM, talks about this in this kind of a way. So, to drive that success, that is to increase customer usage, salespeople must stay engaged after the contract is signed. As I said, we have to train them, they have to guide the customer to enhance the usage somehow, to consume more. Although it is not always right, and I would be talking about that in the last segment of my discussion when this course would be around the end, that increasing customer consumption is good, but we have to look into several kinds of things, especially with reference to environment, climate change, and how we want this world to be. I would be talking about this in my next session in flexible positioning as well, but still when we are talking of business perspective, this is what we think of. Although it is not the right approach as far as when we are thinking in terms of as far as the whole marketing of innovation or innovation in marketing goes. So, use Salesforce management instruments to drive the right behavior, that is the third part. So, to influence how salespeople interact with customers and targets on a day-to-day basis, sales managers must use the set of tools called Salesforce management instruments. Hiring the right people, training and managing their performance effectively, and compensating them in a way that aligns their incentives with company strategy. Glamorizing sales in B schools must be done at this juncture, wherein people should say that, after doing my management program, I want to become a sales guy, because this is one of the highest paying functions in whole of the business. And truly it would be, because one sales guy would be living with so many customers through and through, and guiding them to actually enhance their business scope in due course of time. And if the salespeople would be so deeply involved in due course of time with their customers, then they would be innovating upon how the businesses of their clients should innovate upon. So Lance A. Betancourt says that it's time to shift the focus of service innovation away from the service solution and onto the customer, and more specifically onto the job the customer is trying to get done. Focus augmentation, flexible positioning, driving the product life cycle is innovation in itself. And innovation in marketing, to effectively market the innovations, these kind of thought processes, shifting from this side to that side and looking at things at large, are always required. That is one of the major objectives of this course which we are dwelling upon. And you see, let's look into the story further in terms of designing innovative services. So you see how to actually design the perspective, or include the perspective of innovation in services, how to design the complete structure. So just like product sellers, service providers need to maintain a constant focus on innovation to stay competitive in the market. Definitely they have to. However, a prevalent issue often hinders their progress in achieving innovative breakthroughs. They tend to be held back by their very zeal to achieve unsurpassed service. The problem begins with their fixation on comparative measurements of service quality. And you see, service quality models are very prominent as far as service discussions go. But if you will start looking at things afresh with the perspective which we are dwelling upon, you would realize that if you would be there along with the customer all through the service, then definitely quality would be realized. I would not say might improve, but would be realized in terms of the commitment the sales team would offer to the clients. So for many service providers, service quality research is the primary method for pinpointing areas where service enhancement is needed, what else customer needs. However, by its very nature, this approach keeps attention on existing service offerings, and that is one of the important things which author wants to highlight. And it keeps management's understanding of customer value tightly yoked to what is available today, devaluing any prospects of real innovation. I would not say exactly devaluing, but some short-sightedness definitely would come in. We might not look at that with specific orientation. That is what author wants to say. So imagine a similar scenario in product realm. If a manufacturer of mops sought feedback, and it's a good example, for professional house cleaners regarding different aspects of their mop design, what kind of the questions might these pose? Yes, obviously. So they might inquire about the handle's length. It should be slightly long. Yes, the answer is that it should be effectively long basically. So the mop's color, oh, I like bright colors. So the mop's size and other attributes of the mop. So if you'll ask me, I'll give you pertinent answers on that. Why to ask a specialist on that? So now how would the manufacturer utilize the feedback? They would likely identify and address any shortcomings, recognize apparent opportunities for improvement. Recently they have introduced a wonderful mop basically, wherein you just push it like that and it squeezes the water out of it, and then you dip again the mop into the water, and then you just squeeze it, and then you mop. It's a good product basically. I have tried it. So however, it's improbable that any of these steps would lead them to create a revolutionary product like Swiffer. Instead, they would probably develop an upgraded version of the mop. The customer doesn't want a mop. Ted Levitt says that the customer doesn't want a mop. What the customer wants is clean floor. That is the objective. By focusing on the tool it had already invented, a mop maker would neglect to focus on the higher potential prospect of providing a better way to solve the customer problem. Now you see, let me quickly take you to some examples and describe the whole scenario. 4 basic approaches to guide the innovators in directing their attention toward tasks the customer is either currently hiring your service, are out of many different jobs that our customers are trying to get done. which offer the ripest opportunities for service innovation. That is one. If we mapped out the job the customer is trying to get done, where would we see the biggest points of inconvenience, frustration and poor results? And that is how we are working upon, as far as the whole service innovation perspective goes. Inconvenience, frustration and poor results, that is you should be focusing upon. So what is customers experience of doing business with us, and what aspects of it could be better? As a seller of products, what services could we also provide to help customers get their jobs done well? National portal, national program on technology enabled learning, where we are at this moment, both all of us together, is an initiative in India aimed at providing high quality education in science, engineering, technology and management to students, teachers and learners across the country, and I am very thankful to them. NPTEL is a joint venture of 7 Indian institutes of IITs, Bombay, Delhi, Guwahati, Kanpur, Kharagpur, Madras. I am proud of all, and most of all I am most proud of IIT Roorkee, where I belong to, and the Indian Institute of Science, ISC Bangalore. So NPTEL offers a wide range of online courses in various domains, including engineering, science, management and humanities. These courses are accessible to anyone with an internet connection and cover a diverse array of subjects. One of the distinguishing features of NPTEL is its extensive collection of video lectures by experienced professors from IITs and ISC. You may probably include me as well on the lighter side. These video lectures are available for free and provide high quality education. And these courses offer certification upon successful completion, which can be valuable definitely, and you all know about NPTEL, you are NPTEL students. So you see, it's an innovation in itself. How NPTEL took everything into a perspective, dwelled upon itself to this date and to this form. Look at this: providing accessible and high quality education, digital literacy and technological advancement, certifications, reducing educational disparities, cost efficient learning, global reach, supporting formal education, skill development, and altogether everything. And today it's doing exceptionally well, and this is the imagination of the innovators of this service, that we could reach to a large subscription and a huge number of courses at one single time. It has become one of the largest in the world. So e-learning is good, but have you heard of mobile lab on wheels? Again, a very important kind of a thing. And you see, lab on wheels is again an innovative initiative to provide education in mathematics and science to students from underprivileged backgrounds. You must have heard of it. Its purpose is to stimulate the interest of the students in these subjects as they continue their higher education. The concept of lab on wheels or mobile education units have been implemented by various state governments in India, and it is quite famous in Delhi particularly. The Lab on Wheels initiative, a collaborative effort between Delhi government and Delhi Technical University, represents a significant stride in providing quality education to students from government schools in rural underprivileged areas. Just surf for their website and you would realize that this is a concept wherein, science and mathematics is taken at the doorsteps of the students, while demonstrating several kinds of things, making them inquisitive enough to get associated with a prolonged knowledge earning zeal, and taking themselves forward. Many students are not fortunate enough to reach to the school in time, although India has come a long way, and I am proud of India for that, because we have raised the attendance level of school going children to the largest of the levels in this world. And these are some of those initiatives which have actually supported. NPTEL definitely has played a very big role. Swayam has played a very big role. And Lab on Wheels is one of those very important examples. So it serves as a means to deliver knowledge to children residing in rural and disadvantaged regions, who lack access to resources like smartphones, laptops, and the internet for online classes. And imagine if everyone would be having the access to these kind of facilities like laptops and 5G, which it is definitely coming up. What would happen? India would rise. India is shining. India would shine. The university students travel in a business across Delhi to teach 4.4 million government school students and underprivileged children. And this program enables learners to discover their own paths, encourages exploration, critical thinking and understanding of their aspirations. Such training equips them to be prepared for the future and pursue their dreams of studying at prestigious engineering colleges and several other institutions. And I have been meeting several of such kinds of students, and I realize that they feel blessed by such kind of innovations. Keep thinking about this. Keep trying to find several kinds of such examples which are changing this world around us. and keep dwelling upon this subject of innovation in marketing and marketing of innovation. I would be coming back to you with positioning, a discussion on positioning with specific reference to flexibility in positioning the next time. Till then, goodbye.